You fine and you know you that. Came with the Holy Spirit attached. Our old friends be in the club.
What's up, lavish ladies? It's your girl, LAVISHLAYJIA. I'm so happy to be back again, y'all. Consistency is what we're on to, okay? So this video is much more serious than a lot of my other videos. Recently, we're not gonna talk about that yet. I'm actually gonna wait. So, I'm gonna get straight to it. So, a lot of women actually deal with this. 1 in 10 women plus are diagnosed with endometriosis. But there are many women who haven't been diagnosed yet, which is, due to doctors' lack of knowledge. They have to do research. They don't just automatically know everything just because they're a doctor. So it takes time for them to know, and some people just are misinformed, and they think that with your menstrual, you're naturally supposed to be in excruciating pain. And if you're one of those people that may have thought that, I'm here to tell you otherwise. So, yeah. A lot of women go misdiagnosed, and I just hope that my video will inform you guys, and hopefully if it's you or anyone else you'd encourage them to, seek out a physician or a specialist or someone who they can speak to follow up and see if they as well may have endometriosis. So for me, it started when I was around the age of 11 years old. I got my menstrual for the first time at 10, and then I can't remember if I still was 10 when the pain started or 11, but the pain was so severe to the point where I always have been a type of person to hide when I'm in pain. I don't tell people because it's nothing that they can do other than say, oh, why don't you take meds? But that doesn't work. So yeah, I really didn't say anything, but it just so happened one day, I remember one of my family members was in the house, and they asked me, are you okay? Because you are moaning and groaning like a grown man, little girl. And I was indeed not okay, but I just played it off or whatever, and we moved on. Also around that age range, I used to vomit a lot. So I used to try to take pain medications, but I often would vomit. I was so nauseous. I just was sick, not okay. And I wasn't sexually active at the time, so I knew I was not pregnant. Around the age of, well, no, not around the age, but when I was 15 years old, I did get on birth control, and my period stopped. So I stopped having those severe pains during my period, but I still had a lot of symptoms like nausea, severe bloating, cravings, and all the things that a lot of people get during pregnancy is a lot of symptoms that people also have when they have endometriosis. And so I was having those symptoms. When I started to become sexually active, whenever I would have a little pain during, which is very common for women with endometriosis, but the most pain that I had was after intercourse. And after intercourse, I would have a really, 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 really sharp stabbing pain in my uterus. And it's amazing how as women we can pinpoint exactly where in our bodies the pain is. But yeah, it was it feels like, the way it feels is how I would imagine a knife would feel going through there. And so the pain would be so sharp and intense to the point where sometimes it would like knock the wind out of me, cause me to scream. Like my whole body would freeze up and lock up because I'm in so much pain and I can't move a muscle, barely can breathe. And so around that time is when I knew, I can't say we, but I knew, and my partner, my ex that I was dating for years throughout that time, we both was like, okay, something is wrong. And it was so severe to the point where we were always like, whenever sharp pains would hit me, whenever I was feeling like just crazy, we always used to Google it and do research, and we're like, he always would urge me to seek help for it, but I always just like kind of didn't take it as serious, which is my fault. And I wish I would have took better care of myself around that time. And so upon like doing Google searches, looking at the what I did was type in like all my symptoms I would have a lot of times, and it was PCOS and endometriosis, and I said no, I knew it was endometriosis. And so I looked at more videos, did more research. I was like, I know I have to have endometriosis because the testimonials of other women were so spot on. And it wasn't like, it's not a whole bunch of women out here hollering, oh, I have endometriosis, this is what I'm experiencing. But the videos that I did see, it screamed like we have the same story. You know, like we're experiencing the same symptoms or similar. And so not all of us have the same exact symptoms. Obviously, we're all different people, but I knew. And so I went to my gynecologist. I remember the very first time I brought it up, my gynecologist, I'm assuming didn't have any knowledge of endometriosis. So she sent me to another physician within my building, which led to them doing a vaginal ultrasound. They sent me somewhere to get a vaginal ultrasound because they didn't do them in office, and it came back clear. At the time, she said I had a cyst that had ruptured, but everything was normal, everything was fine. So I said, okay, maybe it's just me. You know, when stuff like that starts to happen, you start to think maybe it's just me, maybe I'm weak, you know, maybe I'm crazy, like that kind of thing. Maybe I should just shut up because they're telling me that I'm fine. So I left it alone. I went back to the doctor and she was like, okay, you probably have endometriosis. And she was like, you know, here are your options, this, and this. And then after that, she checked me again. She asked me more questions. She was like, I don't know, that doesn't really sound like endometriosis. So 1 minute she said it sounded like it was, then she said it sounded like it wasn't. And so she sent me to my primary care physician. He was looking at me like, what's she sent you to me for? Because this is her job. And I'm looking at him and I said, I already know. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm here. I know. I'm just following what I was informed to do. And so it's really, you feel hopeless, honestly. And I hate to say that because it sounds kind of dramatic, but you do indeed feel hopeless because you can't be your own doctor. You can't diagnose yourself. You can't have the tools and everything to do this work yourself. You're dependent on these other people to work together to figure out what's going on with your health. And so eventually when I went back to my PCP, he referred me to somebody to get a colonoscopy. Upon getting a colonoscopy, that was really miserable. Drinking that nasty stuff and fasting. Fasting is okay, but drinking that stuff was the hard part. Got the colonoscopy. It was completely normal, which I expected, because again, I was gonna say as a woman, yes, but as a child of God, when you know, you just be knowing, like, and so I knew already. I'm like, okay, I'm fine when it comes to that. I need y'all to look at the real issue at hand. And so that came back normal, and it just wasn't, you can tell that she wasn't taking it seriously. And so every time I would go back to the doctor, like for just like my annuals, yada yada yada, it just was not like top priority. All I was, and I told her, I was like, I want to have the laparoscopy done. Now the issue with the laparoscopy is a lot of physicians don't want to do the laparoscopy. If you're not trying to conceive and you're having difficulties, they don't want to do the laparoscopy. And some of them say it's because they don't want to damage your bladder, etc., etc. So again, that feeling of feeling hopeless is there yet again. And they just rather tell you, oh, get on birth control. Oh, do this, oh, do that. Now, yes, you can just shut up and get on birth control, but it's times where you don't want to be undiagnosed or misdiagnosed. So for me, it's like, I don't want somebody to just say, oh, these what your symptoms look like. Yeah, you probably got endometriosis, but y'all are telling me all my stuff is coming back normal, yada yada yada. That's not adding up to me. Now, what ways that endometriosis can be diagnosed is through vaginal ultrasound, as well as a laparoscopy, exploratory laparoscopies. I had multiple vaginal ultrasounds. They all came back normal. So I'm like, no, I need answers. Y'all need to give me definite answers. So I switched my physician, and she also was saying like, oh, I'm pretty sure you got endo. And it's another thing is like, listen, this is extreme pain that I'm talking about. Now, we learn to muster up the courage and push ourselves to go to work, to go to school as best as we can majority of the time, but a lot of times we can't. We can a lot of times. It hurts. Some of our pain, some of us have pain, but some of us have like extreme pain. Listen, some days we just can't. And so me working in healthcare, I'm a nursing assistant and I'm a surgical tech. A nursing assistant is more flexible, but a surgical tech is like, okay, we're short. Okay, it's a big deal if you have to call out of work. Me as a surgical tech, I don't want to have to call out of work, nor as a nursing assistant. But it's just like, as a surgical tech, your team is counting on you to be there, and I want to be there. It's other people that need to be served for their surgeries. And so I asked for medication one time, but the big thing with endometriosis is they don't be wanting to give us the medication that we're needing. As far as pain, we need stuff to treat our symptoms. There is no cure for endometriosis as of right now. So all we be wanting is pain medication so we can have comfort, so we can get up and do what we need to do for day to day. Even if I'm not sitting in bed having these debilitating stabbing and cramping and pulling, because I have pulling sensations in my lower abdomen and pelvic area sometimes. Even if I'm not feeling all those extreme pains, I'm still having some other kind of pain and discomfort, whether it's in my rectum, sharp and pulling and stretching in my rectum, or if it's bloating pains. My stomach is so big that sometimes I look like I'm pregnant. I've never been pregnant a day before in my life. But it gets like that sometimes. Like, our bodies are in so much pain some days, and we don't complain or anything to anybody. But when we ask for medication, we don't get the medication that we need, and it sucks. It hurts. It's so devastating, y'all. That is the most painful part for me. People look at us as if we're drug addicts, but they don't understand the stuff that we try does not work. And even as a teenager, when I was trying to take medication, it didn't work, or either I would vomit it back up because I was so nauseous. Y'all, it doesn't work, and it sucks. You just have to be miserable. Right now, I'm miserable and been in pain because my stomach is just bloated, and I've been nauseous, and it makes you dizzy, and it makes you feel sick. Like, it's not a good feeling. It takes away your energy. You can't sleep half the time at night. Like, it's not fun. It comes with so many other symptoms. I use the bathroom 24/7 sometimes, especially during the nighttime. I pee so much during the night times. Like, it causes so many other symptoms that I'll be putting throughout this video. I'll be including pictures. From my surgery as well. My wonderful doctor, Dr. Anam Abbasi, I love her so much. When I went to the second to last gynecologist, she didn't have any knowledge really of endometriosis, so she referred me to somebody else. And so she was like, oh, you know, we can see who would be willing to do your surgery. I went back and she said, nobody in that building. Now, I go to VPFW. She said nobody in that building was willing to do the surgery except for one physician, which was Dr. Anam Abbasi. Beautiful lady, wonderful work. I love her. Like, you can tell she actually cares about her patients. And even if she don't care, your patient should never feel that you don't care. You just there. We should never feel that. And she never makes me feel that. I don't be knowing if that lady done had a bad day, if she's sad, if she happy, and I shouldn't know that. Your patient should never have to feel that. But with her, I truly feel comfortable, and I'm just so grateful. Out of everybody in that practice, she was the only person who was willing to even have a consultation with me. Nobody else was interested in helping me because I wasn't looking to conceive right now. Y'all, this is my left hand. I am not married. I have a purity ring on this hand. Sometimes I wear it on my left hand, but y'all, I'm not married, and I'm a Christian woman, and I do my best to practice what I believe in. I don't believe in premarital sex, and so I don't want to try to have a baby right now at 24, knowing I'm going back to school and I'm not married, and that's just not what I want for my life, or, you know, for me. And so they weren't willing to help because of those reasons, and because, you know, you can possibly injure the bladder. But my physician was my gynecologist was so kind to walk me through, tell me all the risk and everything, which I had already knew ahead of time, but she broke everything down for me, and she gave me the answers I needed. So I went and I had the laparoscopy. If y'all want a detailed video on that, just let me know. I'll probably do one either way, just to help other women prep for having it done. But I got it done on September 27th, 2024. I don't want to get emotional. But for me, it was really emotional, and it still is to this day. I am about, like, I think 3 weeks post-op, and I feel, yes, I still have pain, discomfort, all those things, because it was a lot, but I feel relieved in the sense of having answers, and I'm forever grateful for my doctor, my gynecologist. Yeah, so this video is getting kind of long, so just to wrap it up, I'll tell y'all what she found. So she's so amazing. just reassured me, like, girl, you're not crazy. Like, ahead of time, before I even went in for surgery, she said, oh, you probably have this, this, and this going on down there. Like, and it made me feel so validated, y'all. Like, y'all don't know what that means to somebody, but when it's all these other physicians telling you, girl, no, that can't be, or no, not this, no, it's not that, yada, yada, yada. So the pre-op diagnosis for me was endometriosis. And this is on your chart, that it'll show you like the notes and all that stuff that your doctor do. So my pre-op diagnosis was endometriosis. My post-op diagnosis was bilateral hydrosalpinx, which is when your fallopian tubes are blocked, and stage 4 endometriosis, meaning I got a crap ton of endometriosis. So it said deeply infiltrated endometriosis, adhesive disease with small brown fluid-filled cysts between the bladder and the anterior uterus, obliterated posterior cul-de-sac with bleeding adhesions, bilateral hydrosalpinx, meaning both of my fallopian tubes, bilateral immobile ovaries, endometriotic lesions on the falciform ligament, falciform or falciform, I can't remember. So yeah, the easiest way to sum it all up is, like she said, she told me when I went in for my post-op, which I had last week, is that I have a lot of endometriosis, deep infiltrating, so it's deep down. She said my bladder and uterus, I believe, are like just about, she said she could just barely lift my uterus off my bladder, which is crazy. She said I had so much endometriosis and lesions and everything down there. And even I was reading it was some on my rectum and everything. And that is why I be in the pain that I be in. So no, I'm not crazy. No, I'm not dramatic. No, I'm not none of that. She removed what she could. Obviously, she can't remove it all. And that's not even what my procedure was for. My procedure was for a diagnosis. So she removed some of it. So yes, I do still have pain. I still have some of the stuff down there. And yeah, I'll be inserting some of the pictures and stuff. Whew. But yeah, so that's my story of me having endometriosis, the signs and symptoms that I had, some of the signs and symptoms. It's a long list that I have, but I only included a few of the major ones that really be bothering me day to day. Oh, and being out of breath. A lot of times, y'all, I be out of breath, especially after surgery. So yeah, guys, that's my story. And 3 weeks post-op, stage 4 endometriosis, hydrosalpinx, and yeah, I'm forever grateful. Right now I just started birth control. There are a few options. We ruled out a hysterectomy because once I am married, I do want to try to have kids, and she did tell me that it may be difficult, and I'm pretty sure it will be, but it's a common thing with women who have endometriosis, infertility or subfertility. Yeah, so that can be a hard pill to swallow, but I just try not to think about it because I'm not at the point in my life where I'm trying to conceive. So yeah, y'all, I do know some gynecologists recommend, like, if you've been diagnosed, to freeze your eggs or whatever. I don't really know much about that. I haven't seen a specialist, and I'm not planning to go back for another surgery unless I'm just in excruciating pain, but I'm on BC for now. they offer like menopause medication and different things like that if you are diagnosed or if they believe you have it, to treat the symptoms. So yeah, yeah, so that's all I have for this video. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and listening to everything that I have to say. I apologize because I just realized I wasn't looking at the lens. I was looking at myself and not the lens. So I apologize. I really hope that you guys gain some knowledge from this video and that it would encourage you guys to get the help needed and spread the word about endometriosis. Please don't be one of those people to make anybody feel ashamed or tell any little girl that, oh, suck it up, she's in pain, or anything like that. No, get these people help. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all. Please be blessed. If you're new to the channel, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe if you like this video. And for my OG followers, I love y'all so much. Ladies, make sure you stay lavish because you know I will. Bye, guys.
I wake up on a Sunday.